Everybody, welcome to Fairway to Heaven. It's the FedEx St. Jude Championship. The playoffs have begun starting this week. We got lots to talk about this week. I'm going to roll solo. I'm going to dive into the entire DraftKings board, give you my best bets and everything. Don't go anywhere. We'll be live 60 seconds. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fairway to Heaven, right here on DSM Media. We're live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow. Do all that you got to do on every single social media platform. That way, you help spread the word, help continue to grow this show, grow this channel, everything that we're doing here on DSM Media. If you want to get involved with the show, if you have questions, comments, thoughts, anything like that, head over to the DSM Media YouTube page. It's the best place to get interactive with the show. You can put your comments, questions, thoughts right into the section there. Put them up right like those examples that I got in the comments section already this week. All right, so we got the FedEx Cup St. Jude Championship from TPC Southlands down in Memphis, Tennessee, going on right now, going on this week. It's the playoff time, and I want to focus on the playoffs. I mean, I would be remiss not to mention at least that, good morning, good evening, whatever time of the day it is, my man Adam. Good to see you checking in. If I didn't mention, obviously, Cam Smith, $100 million up front to go to the Live Tour. Disappointed to see our Open champion decide to take the money. But still, I don't think it's a super big deal. I really don't. It's not going to affect the PGA Tour much. I mean, until you lose the Rory McIlroys of the world, the Scotty Schefflers of the world, the Justin Thomases of the world, I don't think it really matters. So I'm really not going to address it. I'm not going to talk about it. We've spent too much time talking live golf. So I just wanted to get that out of the way and just say, look, Cam Smith, I'm a big fan. You all know I like my Cam Smith. But it's not going to affect the PGA Tour that much. We are in the FedEx Cup playoffs now. So it's the top 125 in the FedEx Cup standings. Anybody that's on the Live Tour, though, is out. So then there's 14 guys that were in the top 125. They get bumped out. The next guys are up. That's how somebody like Ricky Fowler made the field this week. So that is going on this week. So we got that. Just to drop it out there now, if anything happens and I drop off the air here, there's a massive thunderstorm going on outside. And every time the house shakes, I'm thinking that I'm going to lose my power here, and this is just going to go kaplooey here. So if this just drops off randomly, I lost power. So anyway, TPC Southland, Memphis, Tennessee, 7,200 plus yard, par 70. Different type of course. It's going to be driving accuracy, ball striking, tee to green, off the tee. About 14 under, 15 under is probably going to be where this event wins, ends, whatever you want to say. Woozer hazards are going to play into effect on 11 holes off the tee. So, again, it's going to be very, very important that you have very accurate off the tee. The putting greens are small. Firm and fast. Tennessee has had some super dry conditions this year, pretty much drought conditions this year. So you're going to see a lot of super fast greens. The weather's not going to play a factor, but really, really fast greens. But they're easy greens to read. there's not much complexity from what I could see in the putting greens. So we're not really too concerned about that. Um, so I'm just sorry. I'm working two screens here at the same time, trying to see what's going on. I got my laptop set up back with two screens here. So I'm trying to take into that. Really interesting thing I found in my readings and my studyings for this week. How my bets go last week, Adam? Again, I had Russell Henley finished, I think, at fifth or sixth place. I had a whole bunch of guys finish in the top 10 last week that had outright bets. It's funny. Betting golf and DFS golf is really hard. I've got 6 outrights on the year this year, and that's fantastic in my opinion. But I've been really close about 6 or 7 more times. So I've got 4 bets this week only, and we will get into them as we get to each player. But getting like Russell Henley contended all week, Scott Stallings contended all week. Jaeger put up a good week at golf. So you know, it's tough to do, but if you get 6 right a year, dude, you're ahead. I'm up about 100% on my account over the start of the season. It was up about 250%. But I've had a few bad weeks on DFS. But yeah, not bad. If you can get guys in the top 10 every week, if I was more of a bettor and less of a DFS guy, I'd be betting more top 10s and more top 20s. I'd probably be winning even more, but I love my fantasy golf. So we'll stick to that. Cheers for the question, though. So, interesting thing I read this week, wide range of distances. You got all different kinds of holes on this course. You got 2 par 5s, both probably reachable, some shorter par 4s, some longer par 4s, some mid range par 3s, whatnot. 33% of the shots off the tee or on your approach shot will fall into 150 to 175 range. So you want those elite ball striking iron players for sure. That proximity is going to be huge this week. It's really weird because with the change in all the different distances, some people will be driving, some laying up shorter tee shots, whatever it may be, because they want to hit the fairways. But everything always funnels into that same range on this course. So that'll be really interesting. I've made my model. I'm going to put it up on the screen here for everybody to see. So you can see what I'm looking at this week. Now that I'm back to 2 screens, I'm hoping the internet holds up on this computer tonight. You can see where my model is. I'm going to sort it by my rank. Of course, I'm going 5% shots gained total, as I always do. 10% ball striking, 20% tee to green, 20% fairways gained. That's your accuracy. 20% approach. 5 around the green. You're going to see guys miss the green this week. It's going to be very important that they're decent. They got some kind of around the green game. 5% on that proximity and 15% off the tee. So again, 20, 40, 60, 75% of my model is falling tee to green, accuracy, approach, off the tee. Super important. I got 0% on putting. I don't think putting's good matter. I like to always see it, but it doesn't have to play a factor in my model. Tony Finau, who's been the hottest golfer on tour, obviously because he's such a great ball striker and tee to green player and approach player, obviously hits number 1 in my model over the last 36 rounds. Mito somehow falls into that even though he's missed 4 straight cuts, but that turns into only 8 rounds, and he had such a good run before that. He models out really well. Brendan Steele, Xander Schauffele, when we get into this core, price tier by price tier, love Xander Schauffele this week. Corey Connors, Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. Russell Henley, Zally, Lowry, and Rory. That's my top 10 right there. I'm going to pull this off the screen real quick here for a second because I want to talk about the FedEx Cup rankings right now. Scotty Scheffler has a massive lead in the FedEx Cup rankings. He's number 1. You got Cam Smith, Burns, Xander, Cantlay. Rory is 6th. Finau is only 7th, even though he's just won 2 times recently. Justin Thomas, Cam Young, Rookie of the Year, probably, and Sung Jae Im at number 10 in the FedEx Cup standings. And I'm mentioning this because I was kind of thinking, who's got a chance over the next 3 weeks? This week at St. Jude, next week at the BMW, and then 3 weeks at the Tour Championship to really overtake Scotty Scheffler as the winner of the FedEx Cup. And when we get here into this model, when we get into the price tiers, and I'm going to put it back up on the screen here, number 1 pricer this week golfer is Rory McIlroy at 11,000, 10th in my model. He is 6th in the FedEx Cup standing. He's 1,400 points behind, massive amount behind. But if anybody stands a chance to make a comeback and actually overtake Scotty Scheffler, in my book, it's going to be Rory McIlroy. There is no doubt in my mind that Rory McIlroy could come out this week, next week, and the following week, finish top 5, top 10 in all 3 events, maybe win one of them. I don't know enough about the points and how they get divvied up, but I'm thinking Rory McIlroy He's 1,400 points behind. He goes first, fifth, fourth. It's got to be enough to win to catch Scotty, depending on how Scotty plays. And Scotty's playing great golf this year. Obviously, I think if Rory McIlroy's got a chance. He's been on a mission this year, especially the last couple months with the whole Live Golf Tour stuff. I really see Rory McIlroy making a run. Maybe he wheels out Torres, makes a miraculous run. Max Homa could win a couple events. Maybe wheels out Torres gets hot and wins two or three of the FedEx Cup playoff events. I don't know. He hasn't won yet, so I don't know. Tony Finau, I'd love to see Tony Finau. He's just behind Rory at 7th place. He's been playing obviously great golf as well. It would be fantastic to see Tony Finau, win another event here in the FedEx Cup and maybe make a charge towards first place. But we'll see. So anyway, let's dive into this tier by tier. I'm going to shrink my face up a little bit more so you guys see this a little bit bigger on your screen. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're watching on other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, just retweet it out, share it out for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to get your questions asked or answered, drop them over on the YouTube page for me. So Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Cam Smith, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, and Jon Rahm at 10K. You got 7 guys in the 10K or above range. I'm looking at ownership. I'm looking at everything here. And I'm trying to figure out how you build winning lineups this week with such expensive golfers. Look, let's be honest. The top 10, 12 guys are the best plays. I mean, there's some good DraftKings fantasy plays in the 6 and 7K range. But when you're really looking at building your lineup, I really want to build my lineups with Rory. I really want to build my lineups with Xander and Cantlay. Jon Rahm. I mean, Jon Rahm to me is going to be a super sneaky play here. 14th in my model, 4th best ball striker, best off the tee in this field over the last 36 rounds. I love Jon Rahm this week. You look at the ownership projections right now, Rory at 17, Scotty 16, Cantlay. You can get a huge discount. You can play Cantlay at 12%. Jon Rahm only 10.6% projected right now. Justin Thomas, I'm off Justin Thomas. Cam Smith, with all the stuff that's going to go on with the Live Tour and him announcing that, I'm off on Cam Smith this week. So you got Jon Rahm at 10, you got Patrick Cantlay at 12, Xander at 14, Rory at 17. How do you find a way to balance this lineup out? And I really don't know. We're going to build a test lineup later on the show and see if I could build a lineup I feel comfortable with. But let's just say, so I was listening to my man, and I'll reference him a few times tonight. This show is brought to you. This model is on fantasynational.com. Best model making tools there are out there. Make sure you head over to fantasynational.com. And if you sign up for any of their tools, shoot them a little message. Let them know you heard about them right here on Fairway to Heaven here on DSM Media. But I listen to a lot of Rick Run Good. Love Rick Run Good's program and his fantasy breakdowns. And he brought it up that he has not seen an 8-tournament start stretch like Rory has put on in his last 8 events. And I'm going to bring up his player profile on my side screen here. In his last 8 events, 3rd, 19th, 5th, 1st, 18th, 8th, 5th, 2nd. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 8 events. He's finished in the top 8 with a win and a second. And his worst places were 18th at the Memorial, 19th at the Travelers. No one is playing better golf right now than Rory McIlroy. Nobody. So how do you not play Rory McIlroy this week? I don't know. 11K though, and 17% ownership. So if you want to start your 10K range with Rory and Jon Rahm because of the ownership percentages, I could be okay with that. But I love Xander Schauffele. Xander Schauffele has shown he can win now. It's a strong play. And Patrick Cantlay, his run in the FedEx Cup playoffs last year, you can't get away from that. And Patrick Cantlay, let's be honest, Patrick Cantlay, 12% ownership, 2nd, 8th, 4th, 13th, 14th, 3rd. Miscut at the PGA, 2nd at the RBC. So going back to the RBC in April, he's got a 2nd, a miscut, 3rd, 14th, 13th, 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 5 top 8 finishes. Obviously had a great FedEx Cup run last year. How could you go wrong with someone like Patrick Cantlay? That's what confuses me. Normally at major events, you got these deep fields. But I know how to organize it right off the bat. But this is so tough because Rory and Patrick Cantlay are both playing so well. Scotty Scheffler's the best player in the world. Jon Rahm, you're getting such a discount. 10% ownership and 10K for Jon Rahm. How can you not do that? So honestly, I don't know which way to go. You could pick any three of those guys to make your core play, your all-in play, and I'd be fine with it. And you could say any of them. I personally think I'm going to go more balanced in this range. I'm going to play 20 lineups as always. It's probably going to be 5 lineups with Rory, 5 lineups with Xander, 5 lineups with Patrick, and 5 lineups with John Rahm. I'll probably mix a couple of those lineups where I'll double up on some of them. But I just don't know how you don't play all those guys. Like I said, you can get off of Justin Thomas, in my opinion. Cam Smith, you can get off of. Even Scotty Scheffler, even though he's the world number one, you can get off of him if you want. But the rest, you got to play. You got to. All right, 9K range. I'm not in love with the 8 or 9K range this week. Some interesting thoughts in this range for me, though. So Matthew Fitzpatrick, the U.S. Open champion, Tony Finau, 2-time winner recently, and Will Zalatoris, never a winner, but always great in these events. You also got Cam Young, Jordan Spieth, and Victor Hovland. Look, I'm off of those three guys, Young, Spieth, and Hovland this week. But Fitzpatrick, he is priced, in my opinion, fantastically this week. Because Tony Finau is obviously going to be chalk. Everyone's going to be playing Tony Finau. He's projected at 16% right now. Will Zalatoris over 17% right now. Both great plays. But Matthew Fitzpatrick at 9,800 is priced at a spot where he's only projected at 12% ownership. 21st at the Open, 1st at the U.S. Open, 5th at the PGA Championship, 14th at the Masters. So he plays well in the big events. There's no doubt about it. Got his first win. But I think if he was priced at 91, 93, his ownership would be in that 17, 18% range. But at 12%, I just don't know how you get away from Matthew Fitzpatrick this week. 3rd best shots gained total, 19th ball striker, 12th tee to green, 15th around the green, 12th off the tee, 28th putting. I mean, the guy's a good golfer. Just he hits the ball far. He can control it if he has to hit it shorter. He doesn't do things bad. He's playing great golf this year. I think Matthew Fitzpatrick, John Rahm at 10K at 10%, Matthew Fitzpatrick at 98 at 12%. You can make a point where you skip everybody else and you just start your lineups with those two guys. But then, again, you got to sprinkle in some Tony Finau, number one in my model, because he's basically just dominating the field in the last 36 and everything. Got to take into account strength of fields. Obviously, those 2 wins were in weaker fields. But still, he's playing great. And he's one of the best ball strikers and tee to green players. Number one in my model because of his wins recently. But honestly, let's be honest. He's always a great ball striker and tee to green player. So I love Tony Finau. He's driving the ball phenomenally in his 2 wins. If you watched any of those 2 wins, I mean, you could tell. I mean, every ball just long, far, dead center of the fairway. Will Zalatoris, obviously, awful putter. Awful. We know that. He hasn't won yet. We know that. Had a great final round to Wyndham. 21st, 20th at the Rocket Mortgage, 28th at the Open Championship, but 2nd at the U.S. Open, 2nd at the PGA, 6th at the Masters. The guy's a big game player. I can convince myself to get off of him, though, at 17%. So there's a good chance I'm going to have a bunch of Matthew Fitzpatrick, a little bit of Tony Finau, and that's it in this range. Just don't think there's enough value in the rest of that range there when the top 10K is so good. I want Rahm in my lineups. I want Xander. I want Rory in my lineup. So I kind of feel like I got to skip a lot of plays in this 9K. And that goes down to the 8K range too as well. Honestly, in this 8K range, you start Colin Morikawa, Burns, Im, Hideki, just write them off. Just stop playing Hideki, guys. Just don't play him. Shane Lowry, Billy Horschel, Neiman, and Tom Kim. I can't say his real name, just like he says it. We'll just call him Tom Kim, who obviously huge win last week. Again, weaker field. All right, so I've got 2 names I'm playing. You can convince me to play Shane Lowry this week. That's fine. But I'm playing 2 names in the 8K range. And the first one I'm not going to play a lot of. But the other one I'm probably going to make one of my top clicked guys just because of his price, his ownership, and everything like that. Let me get my ownership page up here. All right, so that's that, and that's that. Yeah, excellent there. All right, so I am looking at Colin Morikawa at 8,700. Again, Rick Run Good. He did the deep dive. This information comes from him. You're going to get a cheap flyer there at 8,700. He's projected at 10% ownership at this moment. If he stays at 10% or less, Colin Morikawa, slam dunk, worth it play. the last time you got him under 8,800 on DraftKings was when he won the PGA Championship in 2020, and that's when he became a big household name. Colin Morikawa, 8,700. I love it. Love that price right there. Again, I'm not telling you because obviously, if you look at him and you look at his results recently, he's got the miscut the Open, miscut the Scottish, fifth at the U.S. Open. One bad round at the U.S. Open away from winning, and I called Colin Morikawa at the U.S. Open winning, and he came damn close. I didn't have him at the Open, didn't like him there, but I had him at the Open, and I'm feeling that the value is there. 125 golfers in this field, all great golfers. The cut, what's the top 70-ish will make the cut, make the weekend. He's only got to beat out 55 guys. Colin Morikawa, price, ownership. It's worth sprinkling in 3-4 clicks. You don't want to go heavy. If he misses the cut, and he's missed 3 of his last 4 cuts, you don't want to burn yourself there. But he's got win equity, in my opinion. He could win this event. He can finish in the top 5. No doubt about it. So you want to take a chance there. That's my opinion. I think it's a great value, great option right there. All right. The other play that I absolutely love, I don't know why his name's not starred. 23rd in my model. Joaquin Niemann. Currently projected at a whopping 8% ownership. Joaquin Niemann has had quietly one of the greatest years. 9th in the field, tee to green. 17th ball striker. 6th off the tee. 22nd around the green. Doesn't hit the fairway as often as I'd like, but he's so good everywhere else in his game. Let me pull up his content, his player profile here. Not great at the Open, 53rd, but he made the cut. 16th at the Scottish, miscut the championship Travelers there. 47th U.S. Open, 3rd Memorial, 23rd PGA, 20. His earlier this season, he was playing such good golf. Obviously, got the win at the Genesis earlier this year. 8,100 for Joaquin Niemann, 8% ownership. It's going to be very hard for me not to have him in 10, 8, 10, 12 lineups this week. I think he sets up perfectly for this course. I think he's a great play. I think you should do that as well. Just not as much because I don't want his ownership going up any higher. I mean, there's other plays. Like I said, Shane Lowry you can play. Im's going to be super popular this week. Sam Burns is going to be super popular this week. And you get your value. Again, because I want to play Rory and I want to play Xander and I want to play Patrick Cantlay, John Rahm. Really, it's going to be Fitz, Finau, Morikawa, Niemann. That's it. And it's going to be very minimal outside of Niemann in that range because you can't play those guys up top and play all these 9 and 8K guys. You're going to have to find value. And that's where we get into this 7K range. And there's so many names in the 7K range. And all these guys have had really good years. Again, all these guys, to make the FedEx Cup playoffs, you have to have a good year. You got to finish in the top 125. So let's look at the 7K range. I liked Max Homa at first this week. I did place a bet. He's my biggest long shot of the week. The guy's got terrible, terrible course history here. He does not play. I don't know why. Because everything that's important this year at this event, this course at Southlands, ball striker, he's really good. Tee to green, really good. Proximity range, really good. Off the tee, I got the wrong guy highlighted. Right off the tee, really good. Putting, he's a good putter. I mean, Max Homa seems like he should play well here. He just hasn't. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Sometimes courses just don't fit players' eyes. I mean, outside of his miscut the Open, though, 24th, 16th, 47th, 5th, 23rd, 13th, and his win at the Wells Fargo, I mean, he's playing really good golf this year. He's doing it on approach. He's doing it tee to green. He's doing it all over the place. So, I mean, I bet him 50-1. My biggest long shot. Again, I'll recap my bets later. But I don't think I'm going to play him much in fantasy this week. Again, also, ownership-wise, comes into play. 8%. That's pretty solid, actually. I kind of like that. That's come down a little bit since this morning. Russell Henley modeled out really well for me. He's the best approach player, last 36 in the field. Obviously going to be highly owned at 15%. Tyrell Hatton, I know he doesn't model out well for a lot of people, but I want to check this out again here. 8th, 11th, 24th. Last 3 events. The Wyndham, the Open, the Scottish. It's in good form. You can make a case for Tyrell Hatton this week. Aaron Wise, I like this week, obviously. Really good young golfer. And Davis Riley as well. Riley's 8%. Wise is closer to 12%. Before we get to Pendrith, I want to talk Corey Connors at 15, almost 15%. This is the type of course, fifth in my model, eighth best ball striker. Maybe literally outside of the proximity range, which is really weird. I don't get why he's such a good iron player, but can't hit that 150 to 175 proximity. Not sure why. But he seems like a guy that played really well. Again, though, 15% ownership. Kind of concerning because I'm going to be playing such high owned guys in Rory and Xander and stuff like that. Really got to find some balance there. Taylor Pendrith has played great golf at 7,600, only projected 11.5% right now. Love Taylor Pendrith right now. He's finished in the top 13 in his last 5 starts or better. So at 7,600, guys on fire. Again, a lot of weaker fields. Taylor Pendrith, if he finishes, where's his projection ownership? 11%. If he finishes top 20, it's worth it. All right. So this guy wasn't on my radar because he modeled out poorly. And again, like I said, third time I've mentioned his name, Rick Run Good. Rick, you got to come on the show sometime for me, man. Got to get Rick on the show. What's up, Scotty? Got to get you to join Fairway to Heaven one time. I love your work. And you bring names onto the board that I'm not normally, thinking of. Same as Power is one of those. He's got great history here. And he's got great history in major events. So when he started talking about him, I'm like, he's 81st in my model. Why do I want to play this guy? The only thing he models out well in is he's 39th off the tee, 29th best putter in the field. Then I click on him after he talked to it. Listen to him talk. Missed the cut at the Open, 25th at the Players, 12th at the U.S. Open, 9th at the PGA Championship, 27th at the Masters, 33rd at the Players Championship, the 5th unofficial major. Pretty good in the big events. Won last year at the Barbasol, so we know we can win a tournament. We know that. Let's continue back here. Northern Trust, which was what this event, the first round of the playoffs last year, 31st. He had a couple ace last year. Let's see, where was he in the majors last year? I'm trying to find. He didn't play in the majors last year. Guess he hadn't earned the right to play in the majors last year. But he's big game hunter. Big game hunter. Seamus Power. 5% ownership. That's massive. Someone like Seamus Power makes the cut, 5% ownership, 7,600, finishes, say, in the top 20, 25. Guess what? You just paid off your price right there. Makes him a great play. So, again, someone that people are staying away from, but I think it's a good play. Mito Pereira. Oh, my God. What do we do with Mito? 7,500. Second in my model. In the last 36 round, 9th ball striking, 9th tee to green, 10th fairways gained, 21st approach, 10th off the tee. But he's missed 4 straight cuts, which is only 8 rounds. So it's the other 28. Well, hold on, 8. So yeah, 28 rounds. The guy's played great. But his last 4 events, he's missed the cut. So what do you do with Mr. Mito? I mean, even with 4 straight missed cuts, he's projected at almost 10% ownership. What in the blue hell do you do with Mito? To me, I don't know. Unless somehow he magically falls in ownership down to 5-6%, which I don't see happening. Say he does. All right, maybe I sprinkle in some Mito. But if his ownership stays at 10, goes up higher because he's modeling so well for people, I can't see myself playing Mito Pereira this week. I know he's number 2 in my model, but it just seems so. I don't know. I know people are going to play Mito. Go ahead. I know. Trust the model. I know that's the saying. Yeah, no. I can't play a guy that's missed 4 straight cuts. I just can't. Just can't do it. Let's continue down this list here in the 7K range. Keegan Bradley's had great golf for this year. You can play him if you want. I don't know. Let me check ownerships on Keegan. Damn, he's under 5%. How is Keegan Bradley under 5%? Let me dive back. I mean, he's modeling out decently enough for me. Missed 2 of his last 3 cuts. That's probably why. Only finished 44th at the Rocket Mortgage, which is a weaker field. But before the 2 missed cuts in the Rocket Mortgage, 19th, 37th. See how he 5th at the Players, 48th at the PGA. Did not play at the Masters this year. 7th at the U.S. Open. Yeah, maybe that's why. All right, maybe we stay off of Keegan this week. I could get behind that. Continuing down this list here, Chris Kirk, great young golfer, 12th in my model. Does a lot of things great here. I do like Kirk. Varner, Keith Mitchell. Let's go. JT Poston playing great golf right now. Player profile JT Poston. Ownership Poston's 8.4%. Yeah, that seems about right to me. I like that. In his last 5 events, second, first, missed cut, 11th, 21st. He's doing it around the green. He's doing it off the tee. He's doing it, dude. His win at the John Deere. I know weaker field. 13 and a half strokes gained tee to green. God damn. Almost 5 on approach. You got to play some JT Poston as long as it stays under 10%. If he gets into that 12, 15% range, then yeah, you start to get away from him. But I love JT Poston this week. You got to play him. Continuing down, see with Kim how he's just had such a bad year by what I expect from him. Alex Noren, great putter, great shots gained total. Guy that wasn't originally on my radar, but he's kind of jumping up on my radar now as I think more and more. He's got 3 of his last 4 missed cuts, but he's played really good golf this year. It's a guy that's going to be very low owned, and you can get some really good value there on him if you want. But I don't think I need him because I got 2 guys here, or 3 guys here in the low 7K range that I know is going to get a lot of clicks for me this week. Because if I'm playing Rory, if I'm playing Patrick Cantlay, if I'm playing Xander, again, I keep going back. I want to play that 10K range, and I want to play a lot of it, which means you're going to have to find value at the bottom of the board. And in this field, there's great value. Even if we go down to the 7K range or 6K range, there's value. But in this low 7K range, Scott Stallings, he was my all-in play. I was on Rise and Fire with Chris Ebom last week. I was all in on Scott Stallings, and he played really well last week. Player profile on Scott Stallings. His last 4 events, he finished 13th last week. Wasn't what I expected, but still was a really good play. He just had one really not. You needed to score big time last week to keep up with Tom Kim. He had 1 round he didn't score 20 under par, so he just fell a little behind. But 13th, 10th, 4th, 8th, his last 4 events. The guy's doing a tee to green. His last 4 events, 6.4, 7.5, 8.7, 6.9 strokes gained tee to green. Approach, last 4 events, 3.73, 3.7, 7.2. Last 3 events around the green, 3.4, 1.21. Last 4 putting, 0, 1.13, 1.5. The guy is great. He's playing great golf right now. There's literally nothing to question about Scott Stallings. Scott Stallings and Joakim Niemann will probably be my top 2 click guys this week. I really don't see how you can't. If you want to play those top guys, you got to find some cheap plays. Scott Stallings is my, if you want to call it my value play of the week, you got to, I guess. Chez Reavie got great course history here. Great course history. Let me see if I can find it. He's made 4 of his last 5 cuts. First off, Wyndham, 3M Open, not great finishes, but he made the cut by doing it tee to green. Gained 8.8 strokes the last 2 weeks in tee to green, and 8.1 on approach. So he's doing that. The Travelers, he had an 8th, 27th at Charles Schwab. But let's bring up St. Jude here. St. Jude, 6th, 27th, 6th, 4th, 12th, 27th. Plays great at St. Jude, guys. So Chez Reavie, playing better than people realize, and fantastic course history. Chez Reavie's a play. I mean, Scott Stallings, like I said, he's going to be 12.7% right now projected. That might go up to 14. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pay for that. Chez Reavie is pushing 10% right now. I'm going to have to bite the bullet on that. Because if you don't, then what are you going to do? Then you're going to have to stop playing all those Rorys and all those other guys. Another guy, 10% projection right now, Brendan Steele. Do we really want to play Brendan Steele? But he models out fantastically. Yeah, he missed a cut at the 3M Open, but outside of that, 30th, 25th, 10th, 9th, he's missed 1 cut since the start of March, and that was at the 3M Open. And even while missing the cut, he did it because he was 6.1 negative strokes putting. Putting's not going to play as big of a factor this week. His numbers approach tee to green off the tee. He hasn't lost strokes tee to green since the Genesis in mid-February. He has, and that's when he lost strokes on approach. He hasn't lost strokes off the tee since the Sony Open, January 16th. The guy's just, he fits what this course is. Let me bring up my St. Jude. He's only played here twice. Hasn't had the greatest results here, 60th in a missed cut. But again, and then Steele, 10%. Like, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. I'm going to be playing Stallings. I'm going to be playing Steele. I'm going to be playing Ches Reavie. That way, I can get as much Rory, John Rahm, and Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay as I want in my lineups. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to make the decisions this week. Do you want to stay at the top or do you want to stay in the middle? If you want to stick to, Jordan Spieth and Will Zalatoris and Finau, then you could play more of the top or 9K guys. But if you're going to be like me and you want the top guys, when you see my betting pool, you'll see what I mean. You're going to have to. You're going to have to make some tough calls. All right, let's get into the 6K range. Mark Hubbard, 46 in my model, 4th in that proximity, 23rd on approach. Let me pull up his player profile here real quick. Mark Hubbard's a guy I like. Missed the cut the Rocket Mortgage, but outside of that, he's got a 61st, a 3rd, a 13th, 46th. Playing really good golf for the most part. Gaining a ton of strokes on approach, gaining strokes tee to green and off the tee. Mark Hubbard's a really strong play in the 6K range. His ownership's right now at 3.9. So I like that play a lot. Let me think about Wyndham Clark here for a second. He's not on my list. But we talked about a couple weeks, me and Jason. And Jason, I love you, brother. Good luck tomorrow. Thinking about you. Wyndham Clark's a different golfer. In his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 events, he's only missed one cut. He's got a 7th and an 8th place event or finish. Gaining off the tee, gaining tee to green. He hasn't lost strokes tee to green since the Charles Schwab back in May. He's only lost strokes on he's losing strokes on approach occasionally, but off the tee he's doing pretty solidly. Wyndham Clark's a different golfer than he used to be. Wyndham Clark's projected 2.2% ownership. He's 6,900. Actually, where's my pen? I'm adding Wyndham Clark to my list here right now. I think it's a worthy thought. I'm not saying he's going to make my final player pool, but I think it's worth a thought. I'm off on Tom Hoagie because I'm not paying $6,800 for somebody that's going to be 10% plus owned. Going down this list, Taylor Moore, fantastic play this week. I know he's not modeling out great for a lot of people, but Taylor Moore, 7.9% projections right now on the ownership factor right now. Taylor Moore, where are we here? 5th place at the Wyndham, 6th at the Rocket Mortgage, 21st at the Barbasol, 24th at the John Deere, 56. Hasn't missed a cut since the Memorial back in June. I know he's not playing a lot of events. I know he's not. Let's see on DraftKings page here if they have. Sometimes they put his Corn Ferry. Has he played on the Corn Ferry Tour? He's just not playing a lot of golf. Let me see real quick. He's just not playing a lot of golf this year. Probably because he just doesn't have the exemptions and stuff yet. But now that he's earned that tour card for finishing the top 125, Taylor Moore, 7.9% ownership, but he's a great play in my opinion this week. Love me some Taylor Moore this week. Continuing down, actually going back up here somewhere. There's a name I missed. I thought maybe I just got the wrong price written down for him. No, yeah, I have the wrong price. He's 6,700. John who? Who? John huh? Huh? Who? Huh? I don't know. Bad jokes. I know. Second last week at the Wyndham, 57th at the Rocket Mortgage. Last week he played great. He's played really fantastic last week. You can make a case to play him. I just don't know. We'll see. Continuing down, I like Lahiri. Really modeling out, Will. Really great off the tee. Really great ball striker on tee to green. Let me look at him right quick here. Lahiri, Anaban, Lahiri, 8th at the Wyndham, missed cut the Genesis, Scottish Open, 51st at John Deere. Bunch of missed cuts before that. But then he had a stretch 6th, 15th, 2nd. He's played really good golf. He had a great finish, 2nd place at the Players' Championship. Lahiri's a guy I can get behind in this range. Lipsky, Laird, you could play him. Look, I'm going to go way down here. I'm going to say Taylor Duncan at 6,300, 1.8% owned. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. That's why the screen's not moving right now. There we go. 17th fairways gained, 6,300, Taylor Duncan. Let me look at him real quick. First off, 6,300. He makes the cut at 1.8% ownership. Jackpot. Just going to say it. Jackpot. That's all you need. But Taylor Duncan, oh, shit. He missed the cut last week? I thought he made the cut last week. But before last week's missed cut, he had 4 straight made cuts, 44th, 45th, 13th, 46th. Again, weaker fields. But he does it tee to green. Since his missed cut last week at the Wyndham, he won 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight gain strokes tee to green. 6 of the last 7 gain strokes on approach. 6 of the last 7 gain strokes off the tee. And he's even a really solid putter. Taylor Duncan's a guy I'm going to sprinkle a couple clicks in on because, again, it's just going to keep coming down to what's going to happen when you try to play these top guys. And I'm going to do a couple little test builds here. I'm going to show you what happens when you play these top guys. So we're going to stop this share screen real quick here. Hey, there I am. I'm back on the screen here. All right. I'm going to reshare the screen, though, to my DraftKings page and ignore how little the amount of money that is left in my account right now. All right. So there's my DraftKings page up on the screen. And like I said, I love Rory and I love John Rahm. Two good plays. High ownership, low ownership. Leaves you with 7,200. So that means then I got to go Scott Stallings, Brendan Steele, Chez Reavie. Still only leaves me with 7,800. All right, so I could play Davis Riley, Aaron Wise. You can get any of those guys in there. Same as Power. Love. All right, we'll go with. Let me check my model real quick here. Which guy is the highest out of all those guys in my model? Would be Aaron Wise. All right, you could play Corey Connors in that range right there. Are you comfortable with that lineup? That's what the difficulty comes in here. So what you do is you take, say, just for this purpose, take Connors out. I took who did I take out? I took Brendan Steele out. You go down and you play a Taylor Moore. Save 300. Now I got 8K. That still doesn't get Joakim Neiman in there. All right. So you play Duncan. You go real stars and scrubs here for this lineup. You play Duncan, and now I could put Joakim Neiman. Now, do you feel better here with Reavie, Stallings, Duncan, and then Neiman matched up with Rahm and McIlroy? This is the problem that you face this week on how you do this. All right, let's clear that. Let's go back up to the top here. Say we go John Rahm and Patrick Cantlay. Still leaves me with only 7,400. Let's go Stallings again, because again, Stallings is going to get a lot of clicks. Say I go Stallings. Let's say Neiman again. Let's go Neiman at 8,100. Now I'm left with 7,200 again. So again, I go Mark Hubbard. Leaves me 7,600. I'm not playing Mito. I told you that. Not JT Poston. I could put Poston in there. Leave a little bit on the board right there. I mean, is that a good lineup? Do you feel comfortable there? I mean, I actually kind of like this one. Rahm and Cantlay and Stallings and Neiman. That's four guys that are going to make the cut, in my opinion. I'm taking a chance on Hubbard and Poston. I'm taking a chance with Poston playing great lately. Hubbard grading out well. I mean, that works. But here's where it gets tricky. I'm talking about that. But say you just don't play the 10K range. Say you start a lineup with Matthew Fitzpatrick and Will Zalatoris. And then put your Stallings in there. Again, like I said, I like Stallings. Say you put in Steele, 7K. Leaves you 8,300. So you put Neiman at 8,100. I mean, that really doesn't do much for you. I mean, you could play Morikawa at 8,700. And then drop down here to Aaron Wise, or I don't know. Play Corey Connors. What's that put you at if you play Corey Connors? 9K. You could do that. Does that make you... Does playing a more balanced lineup make you feel any better this week? I don't think it does. Like, I'm looking at this lineup right now that I've just put together. All right, we could take out Matthew Fitzpatrick. We could put in Tony Finau. Save. It only saves you 100. Really doesn't do much to you. That really didn't help much at all. But still, does it really do anything for you? It doesn't do anything for me. Take out Will Zalatoris. It doesn't do anything either. I mean, you could go Finau and Fitzpatrick, Finau and Zalatoris. Going with this direction makes me feel no different than going in the other direction. So I think your best bet, in my opinion, the way to play it is load up on those Rorys, those Xanders, those Rahm. You can build. Let's try one more. So I tried with Rory and Rahm, and then I went Rahm and Cantlay. Let's try the two middle tier guys, Cantlay and Xander. Does that change anything? No, it does not. Let's just mess around with different names. Say we go Lahiri. Again, I like Lahiri this week. Let's throw in Pendrith, playing great golf right now. Again, Stallings, because, again, we love Scott Stallings this week. Still 7,700 only left. means I'm playing Corey Connors again, or same as Power, whatever. Does this give you that much less confidence than playing the other guys? At least I got guys in this lineup where I think could win. I think Xander Schauffele can win this week. I think Patrick Cantlay can win this week. So that is the question. What's going on? We're talking golf right now. Eagles tomorrow morning. We got you tomorrow morning. I got some really interesting Eagles questions to start the morning show off tomorrow. But thanks for checking in. Make sure you like and hit subscribe, my friend. Do we feel any better building lineups, stars and scrubs versus balance this week? And I'm saying the answer is no. All right. So that's it there. I'm going to cancel that off the screen. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put, oh, look, there's my face. I'm back up here. Look at me. There we go. All right. I've got 4 outright bets. So, again, we addressed it last week. And, yeah, Tom Kim won. A lot of people, I didn't have Tom Kim. He was, what, like 35-1 or whatever it was. But most events, when there's top 20 guys in the field, are won by the top guys. It's a big event. First round of the playoffs. That's, it doesn't get any bigger. I got to bring up last year's Northern Trust. I don't know. But anyway. I've got 4 bets. And like I said already, Max Homa, he's my biggest long shot at 50-1. But Max Homa is still a really good golfer. He's still a highly rated golfer. He's still a top-tier golfer. He's got terrible course history. That's why he's 50-1. And he burned me. He burned everybody when he was 80-1, 90-1 for like 5 minutes a couple weeks ago. And then missed the cut. But instead of going 5, 6 outright bets, putting $1 or 1 unit or half a unit on guys, I've loaded up on 3 top guys. I bet Xander Schauffele 14-1. I upped it. I went out 1.5 units on it. But Xander Schauffele can win. He has proven this year he can win golf tournaments. It's a big event. He hasn't won a major yet, but this would be pretty damn close. So Xander Schauffele 14-1. I put 1.5 units on Tony Finau. He's won his last 2 events he's played in. Tony Finau 20-1, 1.5 unit. And I bet John Rahm 20. When you get John Rahm 10K, 10% owned, and 20-1. So I bet a unit on John Rahm 21. So I stuck to the top guys. And real quick, I don't know if it'll do it fast or not. I want to bring up the rest of see where the odds are now as of this moment. Where's the sports book? There is DraftKings Sportsbooks. DraftKings, you should support me since I mention you and show you so much on this show. You better reach out and have somebody talk to me. All right, look, I'm not betting Rory McIlroy 9-1 outright. That's just, and there's no return on that money. I'll play him in DraftKings. I'll take advantage of him, but no. My other bets are still exactly. Patrick Cantlay's 14-1, and I thought about him over Xander. Patrick Cantlay was the hot guy last year in the playoffs. I'm going Rory this year, or Xander this year. But you can make a case there. Looking at the rest of these odds really don't do anything for me. You're going down the board into the deeper things. Tom Kim, last week's winner, 40-1. You might. Yeah. You dabble in that. But you don't need to get to these 80-1s, 100-1 guys. There's just no chance they win this event. None at all. Look, Rory McIlroy, in my opinion, probably wins this event. At 9-1, I just can't bet it. What I would do if you want to bet Rory McIlroy, I would wait and see if I don't actually have the tee times. If he's an early tee time, maybe he bogeys a hole or two early or falls behind early, and then his number drops to 15-1. Then I'm jumping all over that. 20-1, damn, absolutely. Or if he's in the second wave that goes off in the second set of tee times, and someone goes out and shoots a really low first round in the first wave, yeah, I'm jumping all over that as his number goes up a little bit. But 9-1, I can't bet 9-1. I struggle to bet 14-1 Xander Schauffele. Joakim Niemann's 50-1 too. Max Homa 50-1. No, I'm leaving it. I'm just leaving it with the 4 bets this week, at least for now. But you gotta just Scotty Scheffler 14-1. Matthew it's crazy. Matthew Fitzpatrick's 9,800. He's the 9th priced guy on DraftKings, but he's tied for the second best odds to win this event at 14-1. Just goes to show this is a Matthew Fitzpatrick event. I said that when I talked about him. You can learn something by looking at the odds, comparing them to your DraftKings prices. You really can. And that tells me something right there. Look, the playoffs. It's elite. You got to treat this week as a major. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm treating it as a major. I'm playing the top guys. I'm playing the stars and scrubs. There's going to be high percentages of 6-for-6 lineups. So you could take a few chances with your lineup builds. And that's what I'm going to do. I normally try to stick to 20 lineups, about 20 to 22 names. I'm going to have 20 lineups, but I'm probably going to have about 25, 26 names because I'm going to have a lot of guys, just two clicks, 3 clicks. I don't want to get too much exposure to the Taylor Moores or the Mark Hubbards or the Tyler Duncans. I don't want to overexpose myself to those guys. But you need to if you're going to play the John Rahms and the top 10K board like I'm going to. I'm going to have a lot of 10K guys in my lineup, a lot of them. So I'm going to have to find a way to make it work. But that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure if you're watching this on replay, you hit the like button. You hit the subscribe button on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, wherever it is. Make sure you share it out, retweet it. Make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms, the DSM media platforms, my personal account, Beard and Knowledge. If you're watching on the Fairway to Heaven Twitter page, make sure you follow the Fairway to Heaven Twitter page. Make sure you're following us wherever it is. I'll be back tomorrow morning with Trending in the AM. Me and Jason, we got lots of great topics. Again, shout out to my brother Jason, the other Jason Sullivan. Not on tonight. He'll be back next week for the BMW. Well, we'll see. Trying to get some tickets. Trying to go to the BMW Championship next week. We'll see how that works out, if it does work out or not. But I'm trying. I want to go. It's right down the street in Wilmington. Really do want to go. We'll see what happens. See what happens. But everybody have a great week. I'll be back live tomorrow. Again, like, subscribe, follow, do all that great stuff. Yo, everybody have a great week. Ah, man, if I have to say Rory or John Rahm, that's my 2 plays this week for bets. And Rory, John Rahm, Joakim Neiman, add him in for the DFS purposes. Everybody have a great week. Let's cash. Let's get back into the winning ways this week, guys. And y'all, see you tomorrow morning on Trending in the AM.